One sec, guys. Let me just finish setting this up and then we can get started. All right. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's just Dhillon here. In this video, as you guys saw from the title of this video, I'm going to be doing an update. Like, is the Canadian real estate market in a bubble? I know this is a topic that it's been in the news very frequently and it's being talked about a lot. So in today's video, I thought I'd jump on a live and then I'd talk about, is the Canadian real estate market in a bubble, in a true bubble or not? What do I see the future prices going? So stay tuned and then now let's get into it. Well, I'm gonna go off of an article that I just read. Hello, how's it going? So I'm gonna go off of an article that I just read like a couple of days ago, and I really liked that article where they were talking about if Canadian housing prices were out of reach for a lot of millennials, and whether the Canadian real estate was going to crash, or are we in a bubble? So this is what I wanted to talk about in today's live. And in that article, and after I upload this video, I'm gonna link that article. So if you guys want to read it, you guys can go and read that as well. But it was a great article. They structured that article into 6 to 7 different questions. So again, I'm gonna go through that article, and then if you guys have any questions throughout the way, yeah, you can definitely ask me your questions, and then I'll answer them accordingly. All right. So the first question in that article is, has the Canadian housing market ever been in a true real estate bubble? I'm gonna go and let's say what first they have to say, and then I'll give you guys my opinion. And if you guys have any opinions, let me know in the comments. But the first question that article mentions again is, have we ever seen a true market bubble in Canada, and that basically affected housing prices, or housing prices basically went crazy, right? So in that article, what they had to say, there were 3 panelists, and one of them obviously, hey, how's it going, Shuman? So one of the panelists, as you guys know, in 2007 and 2008, there was a market correction where real estate prices went down. So that's what he had to mention. And then the other thing that they mentioned is that last time there was a market bubble, it was in 1989 and 1990. So do I agree with those statements? Yes. So anyone who does not know what a bubble is, again, I've defined it in a lot of my videos, but it's where there's the prices of the particular asset have gone, there's no intrinsically, there's no fundamental value to that asset. So the prices have gone up crazy, which is basically what's going on right now. Which is majorly, in my opinion, a supply issue rather than a pricing issue, or rather than an issue where Canadians cannot afford houses. So that's what's going on right now. So based on what they had to say, the Canadian real estate market has seen a market bubble, and that market bubble was back in 2007 and 2008, where there was a crash in the market. But even in those years, the Canadian real estate market did not drop dramatically. Like we didn't see huge price drops like our neighbors in the US, where they were basically loaded up in subprime mortgages that had really high interest. And that's why back in 2007 and 2008, the US went into a big housing crisis, because like people who were on a minimum pay job on minimum wage had like 6-7 houses on their names, which was crazy to think, right? Another reason is because in Canada we have like the big 5 major banks, TD, RBC, BMO, Scotia, So we have the big 5 banks in Canada. So there's not many financial institutions that do a lot of lending. But however, obviously there's credit unions and all that kind of stuff. But in Canada, we have the big 5 banks, right? However, in the United States, back in 2007 and 2000, and even right now, getting financing in the United States, I would say it's pretty straightforward and it's pretty easy. And you have a lot of private banks, smaller case banks, smaller to mid-sized banks that are there to finance your deals. So that's that's why the big crash happened in the United States. Okay, so. And if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll definitely get to them. Okay, so 2, what are the signs of a real estate bubble? So in that article, they also mentioned that what are the signs of a real estate bubble? Is Canada in one right now? Okay, so again, as in one of my videos, what I mentioned was basically defining or finding out whether a market is in a bubble or not by many institutions is pretty hard. Even the CMHC last year, the Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation last year predicted that housing prices would drop 9 to 18%. And we definitely know that that is not true. That is not what happened in Canada. Housing actually increased. In the major markets, it went up by, I would say, anywhere from like in the big metropolitan cities like Toronto and Vancouver, it went up anywhere from like 15 to 20%. And other Canadian cities like Winnipeg, like Calgary, like Regina, like Saskatoon, housing prices went up anywhere from 10 to 15%. And bidding wars, blind offers, sight unseen offers, love letters to the sellers so the sellers can accept their offers were a common scene in the Canadian real estate market. So in my opinion, the Canadian real estate right now, it seems like yes, it is in a bubble because prices have been going up like there's no tomorrow. The Canadian real estate market is pretty hot right now, and yeah, it's just again, personally, I do think that it's a supply issue. There's not enough supply, and obviously right now there's so much demand because of the low interest rates. Right now you can get 5-year fixed mortgages for 1.5, 1.7%, and that's why a lot of hi Bevav, how's it going? That's why a lot of the buyers are getting into real estate because interest rates are so low that purchasing a house or getting a mortgage for, let's say, $400,000, $500,000 at 1.5, 1.6% interest rates, that's like super cheap money. So that's why we have seen a lot of loans being passed right now, a lot of loan origination. But what the Bank of Canada has done right now is they've increased the stress test from 4.79% to 5.25%. So it is a bit harder to qualify for a loan. So basically your purchasing power, if as of June 1st, 2020, if before you could qualify for a $1 million loan, as of June 1st, 2021, now you can only qualify for $950,000. So your purchasing power has decreased by 5% because of the new stress test that was introduced. But to answer the article's question, which is what I'm going off of, is the Canadian real estate in a market bubble right now? I would say yes. Prices are astronomically high. However, do I see it? Do I see the real estate market or the market for the particular real estate assets correcting right now? Stay tuned and find out. All right. So question number 3 is, if the market isn't in a bubble set to pop, what will bring down house prices? So that's a great question, and that's a question that a lot of people are wondering right now. Does Canada will stop internet? let me first talk on this, and then I can answer any of your guys' questions. So the question number 3 and is, if the market isn't in a bubble set to pop, what will bring down housing prices? So in my personal opinion, I honestly don't foresee the real estate market or the prices of the real estate asset correcting a lot in the upcoming future, because even the Bank of Canada has predicted that going up until 2023, they are seeing prices on a stabilized growth. So I don't see the real estate market correcting anytime soon. However, after 2023, so let's recap for a moment. So all the demand that we're seeing right now for real estate, all the demand that we're seeing for houses, which is single family home, detached, condominiums, townhouses, all of the people that are buying right now, most of them are usually securing a 5-year fixed mortgage. So, and most of them are in the younger age. So I would say they're either millennials or people anywhere from like 25 to 40, 25 to 45. That's the kind of people that are buying real estate right now. So anyone who's buying real estate right now is securing mostly a 5-year mortgage at, let's say, 1.6, 1.7, 1.8%, or even 2%. So that's why in the upcoming years, I honestly do not see the real estate market correcting itself, because again, it's not an issue whether Canadians can afford housing. It's never been an issue whether Canadians can make those monthly payments, can make the monthly EMI, the monthly mortgage on their house, can pay the insurance on that house. It's never been an issue on that. It's been, right now, it's a big supply issue. So there's not much housing available for Canadians, and whichever one is available, maybe in the big metropolitan cities like Toronto, like Vancouver, it's definitely unaffordable for the average 9 to 5 worker to afford those kind of houses, right? Because if we look at the average price in Toronto for single family home detached, I would say is anywhere from like 1.3 to 1.5 million dollars. If we look in Brampton, if we're wanting to buy a single family home detached, there also the average price is around $1 million, right? So if you're wanting to qualify for that kind of mortgage, first, a quick rule of thumb: for every $1 million, you're paying $5,000 each and every month, right, as a mortgage. And your monthly cost of owning a house are not only the mortgage, right? You're paying the mortgage, you're paying interest. Well, on the mortgage is principal and interest. You're paying you're paying insurance, you're paying taxes, you're paying utilities. So there's a lot of costs associated with owning a home. But however, again, to the original question, like, do I see housing prices dropping in the near future? I do not think so. And anyone who's just joining, I would really appreciate if you guys can like this live stream. That really helps me out a lot. And all that I ask from you guys is if you just go down there and click that like button. And that really helps me out to reach out to more and more people, right? So again, to reiterate my point, I don't see housing prices dropping in the near future. However, maybe 7 or 10 years down the road, there might be a correction, but the kind of correction that we're expecting is not going to be huge. Okay, so give me 1 second. And if you guys have any questions throughout my live stream, leave them in the comments down below. And then once I'm done talking about today's topic, which is the Canadian housing market bubble, then I'm going to answer each and every one of you guys' questions. So then we can take on that. Okay. So a follow-up to that question is, what will bring down housing prices? So even if I look in Winnipeg right now, Winnipeg last year, the average single-family home price was around $330,000, $340,000. Right now, if a house were to list for 300, if it's in a great area, and if a house were to list for that kind of price, I can almost guarantee you that that price is not going for list price. So it's not going for, let's say if a house lists for $330,000, I can almost guarantee you, because there's so much demand for real estate because of the low interest rates, that that house is not going to be sold for $330,000. There's going to be an overbid on that house for maybe $40,000-$50,000, and on a conservative end, that house maybe might go for $350,000-$360,000, which is $30,000-$50,000 above ask. So what do I think, in my personal opinion, which again might be right or might be wrong, that can bring these housing prices down, is the biggest catalyst that I can see that can do this is rising interest rates. Rising interest rates, because right now interest rates again are at 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 2%, which is basically free money. Anything, any type of interest rate, any type of debt that you're taking against a tangible asset like real estate, which is below 5-6%, that's a great loan to have. So if interest rates were to increase, to let's say 3%, 4%, or even 5%, then I would definitely think that the demand for real estate would lower I would say on the short term. On the short term, it would lower, because a lot of the people are entering the market because of this cheap money availability. So if the interest rates were to go up, I would definitely see a lower in the housing demand, and not necessarily in the housing prices, but yes, in the housing demand. So which in turn would affect the housing prices, because again, if supply is low and there's a lot of demand, so let's say a house, I'm selling a house, and that's only one asset. I'm selling that house, and there's 5 people wanting to buy that house, and my house is listed for, let's say, $100. If there's 5 people wanting to buy my house, that $100 house, one person might say, okay, I'll buy it for $110. The other person might say, okay, I'll buy it for $130. And this way, the house price or the housing prices go up and up and up, which is basically what's happening here in Canada, just to simplify it in very simple terms. However, if the availability of cheap money is not there, and that will in turn affect the demand for real estate. So now for that same $100 house, there's only 2 buyers, and one buyer is saying, I'm going to pay $80 for that $100 house. The other buyer is saying 90 or 100. That's how I can see demand lowering and prices not continuing on this exponential growth that we're seeing right now. Okay, hopefully you guys got that. And if you guys have your own opinions, let me know in the comments. Then we can address those as well. Okay, so now the next question that they have here in the article is, people have predicted the collapse for the Canadian housing market for years, which is something that I've touched now before. Are you more concerned right now? So again, my answer would be the same. I'm currently not that concerned of the housing market correcting itself and prices dropping in the near future. There's always predictions of the real estate market. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? So there's always predictions of the real estate market. However, if you were to ask myself and my personal opinion, I do not see, again, the market correcting itself in the near future. So if you're in the market to buy real estate, it's always a good time to buy real estate. And as I say in my videos, buy real estate and wait rather than waiting to buy real estate, right? So because when you buy real estate, there's many benefits. There's appreciation, there's mortgage pay down, so you increase the equity on your property. There's a cash flow if you're renting out that property, or if you're living in the principal residence and you're renting out the basement or rooms. So there's tax write-offs. So there's a lot of benefits that come with owning real estate, that owning another type of assets such as stocks, crypto, any other stuff, it's not there. So again, to answer it again, I do not see a crash happening anytime soon. However, you never know, right? So again, now question number 5 that they have in this article is, within months, average home prices could top $1 million in Toronto and Vancouver. Is that not a colossal problem? Is that not a big problem? I don't know where they got this information from, but I am pretty sure that prices in Toronto and Vancouver have already topped $1 million. So let's put things into perspective, okay? Let's say you're a new home buyer, or you just came to Canada, you're new to Canada, or you haven't bought your first property yet, okay? And you're living in this big metropolitan cities, you're living in Toronto, you're living in Vancouver. Let's say you're living in Toronto. Average single family home in Brampton, detached, 1 million approximately, okay? Now, $1 million, if you're only wanting to put 5% down, that's $50,000, okay? However, it's going to be very hard for you to put 5% down on a $1 million home, because one, you'll have to show really high income, and two, right now, because of the whole global pandemic situation, is going to be hard for the financial institution to approve you for a 5%. So at least minimum, you would have to put 10% down, which on a $1 million home, it's $100,000, right? So coming up with $100,000 for people that have not entered the market yet, or that have not bought real estate, or that are new to Canada, is extremely difficult. And I don't see that being very sustainable. So in one of my last videos that I did, the current housing situation in Canada, it's causing a big gap of wealth So right now there's a big gap of wealth happening right now in Canada. So people that own real estate are becoming wealthier and wealthier because their houses are appreciating more. There's mortgage pay down, so their wealth is being accumulated maybe 5-10x much faster than people who are just renting and do not have real estate investments, right? So right now there's a big gap happening of wealth. There's a big distinction of wealth happening right now in Canada, and that's what's going to happen. Like who can afford a 1 million? Like let's say now you live in Vancouver. If you were to buy a house, it's astronomically high. I mean, for house prices in Vancouver are worth $1.5 million, like the cheapest house, and it's not even going to be a great house to live in, right? So that's what's going on right now, and that is why more and more millennials, more and more people of my age and even younger, it's going to be harder for them to get into real estate. The people that got into real estate soon, they're enjoying right now because their houses are appreciating and the value of their investments is growing, right? But however, the people who did not enter the market right now, it's becoming harder and harder for those people to enter the market, right? So another solution to that problem is moving. So a lot of people that are in the big metropolitan cities, because they cannot afford to get a mortgage, they cannot afford to save up the down payment, they're moving to other Canadian cities which are relatively more affordable than the big metropolitans, than the big Toronto, Brampton, Vancouver, Surrey, all those cities. So they're moving to places like Winnipeg, they're moving to places like Calgary. They're moving to places like Regina. They're moving to places like Saskatoon. So these places are seeing a bigger influx of people migrating either within Canada, or people from outside of Canada are migrating to these places because one of the biggest reasons is if you come to Canada, or if you're in Canada, you want to get into home ownership, right? But however, if you live in this in this more expensive provinces, Ontario and BC being the main ones, it's getting harder and harder to afford houses there. So now Winnipeg real estate is going up. Winnipeg house prices are appreciating anywhere from like 15 to 20%, because more and more investors from those cities are investing and parking their money here, right? People who own a principal residence in Toronto, people who own a principal residence in Surrey or Vancouver, if they want to buy another house, they're not buying another house in Toronto or in Surrey, right? They're buying a house in cheaper markets. They're buying a rental income house in Winnipeg, in Regina, in Saskatoon. That's where they're parking their money, because that's where the next growth of the Canadian real estate market is going to happen. In markets such as Winnipeg and the other cities that I just mentioned, because the room to grow is much bigger than in those big metropolitan cities. The big metropolitan cities, yes, I'm not saying they will not grow, but now the percentage growth, I believe, is going to be bigger in the smaller cities, such as Winnipeg, such as Regina, such as Saskatoon, because the affordability is there. Because the affordability is still there. Again, you can still buy single family homes for, let's say in a C plus area in Winnipeg, you can still buy a decent home for $250,000, $280,000, and in a great area you can still in a great area you can still buy a house for in these cities you can still buy a house for $350,000, $370,000, which is 3 times cheaper. So 3 times, just put that into perspective, three times cheaper than buying in Toronto, buying in Brampton, buying in Mississauga, Whitby, in all. So it's 3 times cheaper than buying in all those places, rather and buying in here in Winnipeg, Regina, Saskatoon, New Brunswick, all those cities, right? All right. Again, I'm really appreciating anyone who's liking this live stream. And if you haven't liked this live stream, if you want 1 year of good luck, you better like that live stream. So again, on a serious note, when you guys like this live stream and subscribe to my channel if you're new, that really helps me out a lot, because helps me grow this channel, motivates me to keep putting more and more videos out there and educating you guys on the real estate market and what's going on right now in the Canadian real estate market. Okay, so if you haven't liked this live stream so far, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe down below if you haven't subscribed. Okay, so another question that it is mentioned on that, and don't worry guys, I am gonna get to your questions. Just stay tuned with me for a little while, because this article is almost done, and then I'm gonna answer each and everyone's question. So we're also gonna get there. So question number 6 is, have you encountered any feasible outside the box solutions for the Canadian housing crisis? So again, it's what I said. In my personal opinion, which again, you might agree or you might not agree, which is completely fine. And if you don't agree, or if you agree, once I post this video, leave some comments in the comment section down below so we can interact, because I answer to each and every one of your comments, whoever leaves comments on my videos, okay? But okay, let's see what one of the panelists on this particular particular article what they had to say. So the solution for the Canadian real estate market, this is what they had to say. We need to get new supply to the market faster and in greater magnitude to match strong future demand arising from the wave of millennials aging into their household, forming years over the next decade. Without addressing the supply issue, the housing stock will continue to be under enormous pressure. Okay. Again, this panelist's opinion goes very much in line with what I have to say, which is and with what I proposed in one of my last videos, which is the Canadian government the Canadian government giving basically incentivizing small businesses, entrepreneurs to build more housing, build more communities, so the supply issue is not there. So there's many more houses, because in terms of land, Canada has no problem in terms of land. So if the supply issue is dealt with, is taken care of, more and more housing can be built, more and more houses, communities can be built on Canadian land. Therefore, basically increasing supply to match the demand. So then housing prices will not go skyrocketing again. Sorry. Housing prices will not skyrocket again, and then they will stabilize on a long-term spree. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. And that was today's video. That was today's topic. Is the Canadian real estate market in a bubble? In my opinion, yes, it is in a bubble. Do I see the market correcting anytime soon? No. Again, it's a supply issue more than whether Canadians can afford to pay the mortgage, the monthly cost of owning a house. So it is in a bubble. I do believe that, which again, I might be right or I might be wrong. I do not see the market, the Canadian real estate market, dropping or correcting itself anytime soon. And how I would fix that is to make better housing policies from the government to incentivize builders and small-time and entrepreneurs to build more housing, build more communities. So there's a bigger supply, because we have a lot of land in Canada. So there's a bigger supply to match the demand. So basically, the prices do not keep going and going. Rather, we can see a more stabilized market. Okay. So now, that was the topic of today's video. That's what I wanted to cover. Now I'm going to answer each and every one of you guys' questions. So if you haven't liked by now the live stream, make sure to smash that like button. That really helps me out a lot. And also, if you're new, if you're watching this the first time, you're watching myself the first time, definitely make sure to subscribe to my channel, as that really helps me out a lot. So smash that like button if you haven't by now. And I'm answering your questions right now. All right, let's get into it. So if you have any questions, leave them right now. I'm gonna quickly go through your questions and answer each and every one of them. Okay, so does Canada will stop international immigration in upcoming years? I do not think that they will stop international immigration, because in terms of housing, they want to build more housing and immigration. They obviously they announced not recently but sometime soon that till 2023 they want to welcome over 400,000 immigrants. So I don't see any policies against immigration. Rather than they want to welcome immigration, because that's how they increase the country's GDP, and in turn the housing market also grows. Okay, so guys, honestly, in my personal opinion, do not really ask me any type of immigration questions, work permit wise, and all that kind of stuff, because I'm not the one to answer those questions. I do not have my expertise in that. My expertise is in the real estate market, stocks, crypto. So if you guys have any questions on how to build your wealth, how to increase the money that you make, how to increase the returns, ask me those kind of questions, because in that area I'll be able to help you. On the other end, there's many other YouTubers, many other YouTube channels talking about that. So I think that would be a better choice. Okay. Nide is saying, is it good to invest in New Brunswick rural area? Okay, that really depends. You have to talk to the local the local real estate experts of that area. Analyze the market, whether house prices are going up in that particular area, and if they are, and it's relatively cheaper, then it would be a good idea. But I would recommend you, before investing or not investing, talk to the specialists, or talk to the people that know that area from inside and out, and talk to them whether they see the real estate prices growing in this area or not, or what have been the prices so far in that particular area. Okay. All right. More questions? Shivam is saying, how do you think the market will be for low rise for the next year, GTA Vaughan? Honestly, I think that the prices for that area are still going to rise, because I don't see the market correcting itself. So if you're in the market to buy a condominium, go ahead. Obviously, always run your numbers. Always make sure that you're able to afford a condominium or a townhouse, whatever it is that you're buying. But I honestly see prices still appreciating till 2023, 2024, 2025. All right. Where should I study for real estate in Canada? You honestly don't need to study. If you want to become, you need in-ground experience and network with people that are professionals, real estate investors in your particular area. But if you mean that if you want to become a real estate agent, then just do a simple Google search on the area that you're living in, and just type in how to become a real estate agent, and you'll get different solutions over there. Okay. Rajesh is saying, hi Jas, what is the mortgage rate in Canada? So it really depends, but right now it depends from financial institution to financial institution. But right now the mortgage rate is anywhere from 1.6 to like 2%, so it's pretty cheap. Okay. Arun is saying, I want to be a real estate agent. What should I do? Well, you should basically, whichever part of Canada you live in, you should do research and just type in on Google how to become a real estate agent. Let's say in Toronto, you'll get the link of that website and study that website. It usually takes anywhere from like 3 to 6 months to become a real estate agent. However, I do believe that you need to be a permanent resident to become a real estate agent. If things have changed, I do not know. But last I checked, you have to be a permanent resident to become a real estate agent. So note that, okay? Do your company sponsor my application? Right now I'm not taking anyone. However, yeah, so right now I'm not taking anyone. And then how much time it takes to become a real estate agent, as I said, it really depends on you. How fast can you study and pass those exams? But it takes anywhere from 3 to 6 months. However, I passed my exam in like here in like 1.5 months. So again, it really depends on availability or to book the exams and all that kind of stuff. But hopefully that helps. All right, guys. So if you haven't liked this live stream, make sure to like this live stream. That really helps me out a lot. So I'm gonna wait. Smash that like button. It's down below and it's free. So we all love free. So smashing that like button, it's free. And if you're new to the channel and this is the first time that you're watching me, make sure to smash that subscribe button. And if you guys have any more questions, leave them in the comments down below. I have like 2-3 more minutes here, and I'm gonna answer your questions. So I'm gonna wait 1 or 2 minutes if you guys have any more questions to answer your questions. However, if you do not have any more questions, then I'm gonna wrap. So I do not see any more questions coming in. So I'm gonna wrap this live stream right over here. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of your guys' time. And I'll see you guys in the next live stream, which is gonna be again next. We have one last question. How much is the average price difference between a freehold townhome versus one that has low fee, let's say around 150? Honestly, price difference, it's really dependent. So it really depends on the market. But yeah, again, it really depends on the market. But townhouses in Brampton, I think they are going anywhere from like $650,000 to $800,000. But the monthly maintenance fee is not going to affect the price. That's just how the board runs the community. How to make profit from flipping strategy: buy low, renovate, sell high. That's the easiest way. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this live stream right over here. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Thank you very much for tuning in. All right, guys, bye.